Hello students, now we are continuing with our chapter, lesson number 2, natural resources, land, soil and water. Uh, we have learned about the land and the soil. One point it is remain with the soil, that is the soil conservation. As we know that the soil is very valuable for all the sorts of life. So because of that, the soil should be conserved. That is, the protection of soil from physical as well as chemical deterioration is called soil conservation. That means what? Any damage of a soil, it should be protected. That is soil conservation. So it includes all those measures that can protect the soil from erosion and from fertility exhaustion. That is means the reduction of reduction should be there from the land getting or that soil getting infertile. Okay, so the farmers across the world use the different methods to conserve the soil and to derive the optimum benefits. So some methods can be as first one, that is afforestation. That deforestation means what? We are cutting down the trees. Afforestation means what? Instead of cutting down the trees, we should plant more and more trees, shrubs and the grasses. That should be done, and the reckless cutting down of the forest, that should be stopped. That is afforestation. The next is the checking overgrazing. Overgrazing by animals, that should not be done. It should be checked. As the land becomes exposed to the rain and wind, means the covering of a land that gets ruined, and so it directly exposed to the rain and the wind, so that should be stopped. Then crop rotation. Crop rotation means what? The cultivation of different crops on the same piece of land each year during the different time is called crop rotation. Means the crops should be rotated, and this practice helps to add the nutrients to the soil. The next is the counter ploughing. Counter ploughing means what? In this method, the farmer ploughs the parallels to the contours of a hill slope to form the natural barrier for water to flow down from the slope. Means if a slope it is like this, then the ploughing should be done in this manner. Okay, that is contour ploughing. Then terrace farming, it is very effective in conserving the soil in the mountainous region. In this method, the hill slopes are cut into terraces. Means the slope of a mountain or a hill, it is cut into a terrace structure to make it flat, and the crops can grow on it. This method is very effective if the water is flowing down from the slope of that mountain or a hill, that can reduce with the speed. Then the strip cropping. The next is the strip cropping. It is the method in which the cover crop such as small grains and grasses are planted alternatively with cultivated crops in narrow strips, and these cover crops absorb the moisture and hold the surface soil together. So whatever the exposed land it is there, that it is covered with the help of the grasses and grains, small grains. Then the next is the cover cropping. In areas such as orchards and plantations, cover crops are planted between the young trees to check soil erosion. Leguminous crops are often used as they add nitrogen to the soil. Means these leguminous plants or the crops are very important for the nitrogen, maintain the proper proportion of a nitrogen in the soil. Then planting shelter belts in dry areas where wind erosion is is common. Rows of trees and the shrubs are planted to reduce the speed of wind to protect the soil, and these rows are called shelter belts. So this means what? Whatever the rows of a trees and the shrubs that used to reduce the speed of a blowing wind. Then the rock dams. Rocks are piled up to check the flow of water and prevent the soil loss by floods. Means the flowing water with a great force can erode the soil in a mode, and so the speed of that flowing water can get reduced with the help of such rock dams. So these are what some methods through which we can conserve the soil from getting eroded. Okay. Then the next point of the lesson, that is the natural resource, is water. That we know that water is very important or essential for every sort of a life. So about 70% of total surface area of the earth is covered with water, that which we know. Therefore, it is often called our earth as a watery planet or a blue planet. About means though the 70% of water it is there, among these about 97% of water is found in oceans and seas, and therefore it is a saline and not fit for any domestic, agricultural or industrial usage. So fresh about is available only about 3%. About 2/3 of these remains frozen in the glaciers and the ice caps. So only a small amount, that is the 1% of water, is available for the human use. So it is found as the surface water, that means what, the water which is there in the lakes, rivers, ponds, streams, etc. Then groundwater, and as a water vapor in the atmosphere. So the fresh water on the earth is very precious. The quantity of water is fixed on earth. It remains in motion, that means we have learned already the water cycle in the previous classes. Now the scarcity of water. Scarcity of water, that is what, even ever increasing population, rising demands for food, increasing urbanization, rising living standards have created the problems of water scarcity in many regions of the world. These are the reasons. So most of the countries of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, Western USA, Australia and parts of South America are facing the fresh water supply presently. And it is estimated that by 2025, means 2025, 65 countries of the world, including India, Korea, Nigeria, Peru and Poland, will face the shortage of water in a very near future. The water resources in India, which the water resources are available in India, that India gets plenty of water during the monsoon, but it is evenly distributed, means monsoon is not equally distributed everywhere. Some parts get flooded with the heavy rainfall, but some parts suffer from the drought-like situation. So India is agricultural country, and we know that, and so it required a regular supply of a fresh water to irrigate the farms. So after independence, the government of India undertook the different multi-purpose projects like Bhakra Nangal Dam on the river Satluj to make water easily available for farming and other related activity. These multi-purpose projects are called as a temple of modern India. Why? Because they serve irrigation, controlling flood, generating electricity, breeding fish and creating recreational facilities. So because of all these multi-purpose projects called as the temples of modern India. Now the conservation of water resource, as we know that though the 70% of water it is covered on the earth, but only 1% the fresh water which is fit for the human use. So we should conserve the water. So the population increasing, the demand for the water is also increasing. The urgent steps we should take to conserve the water. Most of the countries of the world, especially India, will face the acute shortage of water if the steps are not taken properly. What the steps we can take for the conservation of water, that is the plantation of trees and other vegetation to check runoff and let rainwater seep underground. So that seeping of the rainwater in the earth is very important for raising the groundwater table. Then water harvesting should be done in both the urban and the rural areas to store the rainwater. Means we should allow the more and more water to get seeping to the earth. Then effluents should be treated before they are drained into the water bodies. Means whatever that the polluted water, that should be treated first and then only it should be allowed to drain into the water bodies. Then the sprinkler irrigation and the drip irrigation should be promoted. So because of these, the water we can save the water through these methods. Then this is how the water resource we can conserve by applying these methods. Thank you.